Hello, my name is Elle, and I am the host of a DID system called the Mage system. Today we're going back to our second grade roots here to learn a very important lesson about the world, and that is that you shouldn't bully people. I feel like we all just need a little reminder because that was, quite a few years ago that we learned that. So we're just going to talk about that today and Miss Cooney because I think that I have wanted to talk about this for years at this point, but I never did because I wanted it to feel just right. I wanted to say it the right way, and I think I'm finally ready, and I think there is no better time than now. So today we're going to be talking about Eugenia Cooney. So welcome to the internet. This is one of the things about the internet is that the internet seems to like to pick a mentally ill female and just bully her. And this has happened even before, like Tumblr or whatever, like we did it to Amy Winehouse when the paparazzi photographed her on the streets looking her absolute worst. And Britney Spears and tons of other female celebrities. And why is it that whenever there's a female mentally ill celebrity or an addict or, eating EDs, obviously, we tend to like smother them with the paparazzi and like just write these terrible articles about them. But whenever it comes to, like male mentally ill celebrities, like, I don't know, Kurt Cobain, Elliott Smith, they're like these fucking geniuses. They're these geniuses and the mental illness is, they tortured them and it made them geniusness. Geniusness? That's not a word. They made them geniuses. I need to go to bed. In the middle of the worst time in her life and just made fun of her and told jokes about her. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And yeah, so we're just going to talk about that because this has been pissing me off for years. So if you have never heard me talk about this before or you've never met me before, not that this is the most important fact about me, but it's relevant to the video, I'm an ex-anorexic and an ex-bulimic. And I used to watch Eugenia Cooney, and not necessarily to trigger myself. I mean, whenever you're really ill, you will watch any eating disorder related media and it's all automatically interesting to you because you're just so obsessed with, that stuff. And so it was triggering in that sense, but I wasn't like watching it because I aspired to look exactly like Eugenia or anything. But I watched her content because I felt like I understood her. And at the time, when I was in the midst of my eating disorder, I also had a best friend with the same issues. And so we kind of partook in them together. And we would watch Eugenia together and we'd be like, you know what? She can be in the blunt rotation. Like, she can come smoke with us. I know she wouldn't smoke weed because it makes you hungry, she hears, I assume. But, if she wanted to, she could smoke weed with us. But that was a few years ago, and I think I am definitely not eating disordered anymore. And it's as my psyche gets further and further away from going that route as a coping mechanism, I definitely have just a broader perspective. And so I wanted to share the harmful ways that the internet is treating Eugenia Cooney. Okay? Sound good? Eugenia is 30. Isn't she 30 now? Let me look it up. Yes, she's 30 now. And she has been severely emaciated for over a decade. She started YouTube in 2013, and it's 2024, in case you didn't know the year. That is pretty insane. And I will get into how scared I am later. But yeah. If you go to Eugenia Cooney's Instagram and you go to her comments section, at different points in time and on different platforms, it's worse. But a lot of the comments will be like, God, that filter is working so hard to cover up how discolored your skin is. Or you look disgusting. Or you are a fully grown woman. Why are you doing this? And just shit like that. I think we've seemed to forget here what anorexia actually is because these people seem to not know or get it. And I don't know if me explaining it would even do any use to you. And there are some people that have done all the research necessary to understand, but they still hate her guts. And so let me just explain what anorexia is all about. Okay? It is about making yourself look like a child because you don't want people to hurt you. Okay? Now, there's so many, it's such a complicated disorder of why you would want to look that way that there's so many facets to it. Of course, control is a big aspect of feeling like you can control your body in your life, and it makes you feel disciplined and clean, right? But part of it is also like a please don't hurt me. I don't want to use the word cry for help because number one, it has a negative connotation. And then number two, yeah, it is a cry for help in a way, but it's also kind of just a please don't be mean to me kind of thing. Eugenia doesn't want help. She's not crying for help. She doesn't want help, but she wants you to stop harassing her. So people harassing her about her appearance and calling her a bad person, basically what I was trying to say is that you are pushing her further into her disorder by doing that. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you, by ridiculing her disorder and ridiculing her appearance because of her disorder, you are pushing her into it further because her brain is trained that in order to get people to stop hurting her, she has to starve herself and infantilize herself. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it's the truth, and that is what's happening. So if you didn't know that, there you go. If you ask these people why they feel the need to harass and berate Eugenia Cooney and tell her she's a fully grown woman and blah, 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 then they'll probably just tell you like that she is harming younger girls by going on social media and that she is not being receptive to people's like attempts to help her and et cetera, and that she's being deceiving by not talking about it online. I get what you're saying about her influencing other people. I do understand that. But I think that it's kind of a hard thing whenever you just have a certain body and you're existing online, because it's not like Eugenia Cooney is doing what I eat in a day videos. It's not like she is specifically trying to like get people to do what she is doing. Yes, she likes fashion. Yes, she likes wearing revealing outfits, but we have no way of knowing if she just likes wearing cute outfits that show her stomach or whatever, or if she is doing it just to show off her body. We don't know that, and I think it is irresponsible to sit there and make assumptions about it. You know what helps you motivate yourself to not have an eating disorder? It's finding hobbies that you enjoy outside of your eating disorder. So if that is fashion, then that's fashion, man. Like like I know it's connected to your body, but sometimes people just have hobbies and it's good for them. And I just think that in the case that is just her hobby, I really think we shouldn't take that away from her. Yes, I'm sure it does have a negative impact on some people. However, I would like to point out to you that people don't get into eating disorders because they saw a skinny person online and they wanted to look like them. People get into eating disorders because they're sad and they hate themselves and they feel out of control in their life and they're scared. That's why they get into eating disorders. And let me tell you, if it's not an eating disorder, it's probably just going to be something else. And I'm not saying that to justify it, but I'm just saying that the idea that Eugenia Cooney is causing people to have eating disorders is so oversimplified, and it is distorting what is actually happening. That should just be pretty obvious that there is nuance to everything. And then secondly, I think the point that she is having forced positivity by not talking about her illness is fucking stupid. You do not owe anyone shit. You do not have to tell anyone anything. And we know she has an eating disorder. Like, she went to rehab for it, and she came back and she was like, yeah, eating disorder, right? We know it. It's not like she's like, my body naturally looks like this. She used to do that like many years ago, but she doesn't do that anymore. And by the way, I'm not excusing that she used to say that that's just kind of, yeah, I guess I'm just naturally skinny, like many years ago that she used to do that. I'm not excusing that, but I do think that whenever you are very wrapped up in a disordered way of thinking, you are not in touch with reality to a certain extent, and you don't even really necessarily register what you're saying sometimes. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. Again, not excusing that she said that. But again, she's not talking about, she is not saying that anymore. She simply just doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to talk about her eating disorder online. And whatever reason she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't want to fucking talk about it. And that is not something that is a like unethical thing for her to do. She has the right to not talk about her health or her mental health if she doesn't want to talk about it. We all do. So I just think that that argument is absolutely ridiculous. I get what you're saying. I get that you don't want the toxic positivity, and I totally get it. But I just think that's not how it works. I don't think that just because your body looks a certain way means that you're obligated to tell everyone your business if you don't feel like it, whatever your reason is. And there are a few things that Eugenia Cooney has done that aren't good. And a lot of people who are naysayers of Eugenia Cooney will say, just because she is sick doesn't mean that you can't criticize her. And they will say that. And that sounds like a good point, right? And it is a good point. But they will say that and then just say the most vile things about her and excuse it. And let me tell you what Eugenia Cooney has done that is bad. I will tell you from my memory. Okay. So I think in her Discord, this may be like a little off, but it was something like this. In her Discord, some of her mods were like predatory and she didn't realize it. And then whenever she did, maybe she didn't do something about it quick enough. There was something like that happened. And then also, you know, I don't know if you know this, but if you know Eugenia Cooney, if you keep up with her, then you know this. But her head is halfway up Jeffree Star's ass. And Jeffree Star is transphobic as fuck. Roll the clip.
The they and them.
Yeah.
And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their fucking houses. They just started to make up more shit and more shit.
More stuff.
Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you.
Them. You're trans, you're male or you're female.
And you're standing on that.
Get so mad when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
How are you a they? What the fuck does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic. You hate trans people. You hate gays.
And one time Jeffree was on live with her and he was like, there's only two genders, right, Eugenia? And she was like, yeah, there's only two genders, guys. And I look back on that and I'm like, yeah, Eugenia. I know she only said that because Jeffree Star said that. I know that is the only reason she said that. Not that she's secretly a non-binary person stan. I think as soon as Jeffree Star said that, she believed it. But I think she probably just didn't think about it until that point. She is an irresponsible, immature person. I will say that. And that's not me trying to be rude. That is just sort of an she behaves in a juvenile manner. Okay? And a lot of that, I understand that that's annoying. I really do. But she is dying. She is dying. So I don't know why you think that sitting there and pointing out all of her flaws is going to make her want to recover. What kind of fucking mental gymnastics are you doing by thinking that you going on Reddit and writing this disgusting, vile shit like she's your punching bag is going to help anybody? It's not helping you either. It is not helping you. I've said this before in other videos, but you could be spending your time going on a subreddit of an artist you love or a person you love and talking about how much you love their work. But instead, you're spending your time going on a subreddit bullying a mentally ill, dying woman. I remember the description of like the most popular Eugenia Cooney subreddit for a while was to discuss the transphobic Twitch streamer Eugenia Cooney. And I was like, she said there were two genders one time. And that was transphobic. It's a weird thing to put in the description of the subreddit. Like it's like a canon event. Like it is like the defining moment of who she is as a person. I think that's a little crazy. No, but really, they pulled the worst thing she's done and they just put it there as if it wasn't something she just said without thinking about it at all. But let's just go to the biggest Eugenia Cooney subreddit for a second. It's got 56,400 members. The first post, Eugenia Cooney's lips are so furry and so dry. A lot of these posts are just talking about how horrible her appearance is. Another post, is that a crater in her chest? Oh my god, she's body checking. She's body checking. All this one fucking does is body check. Yeah, maybe. She has anorexia, guys. Are you surprised? Why is there the 50 bajillionth post saying, oh my god, she's so skinny? I didn't fucking notice. What are you gaining from that? What are you gaining from posting this? Top post of all time on that subreddit. I'll just show you. Sorry, on my freaking pad. Okay. Oh wait, you can't even see this shit. Why didn't I just put this in and edit? I'm sorry if you guys think this house is on fire. I'm really not doing anything to make you guys feel that way, but you can really tell how well this house is doing just by looking at it. What is your goal by making this post? You're just mocking someone who's sick and isn't complete and is kind of in denial about it. Like, is that funny to you? Is that funny? Does that make you mad? Does it make you mad that someone has anorexia and they're really sick? Is that making you angry? Do you feel better after making that post? There's lots of allegations that she is pandering to anorexia fetishists, and maybe she is being coerced. But we're getting into victim blaming. I smell victim blaming. Before anyone comments that she is a fully grown woman and that she can consent to, these people who fetishize her disorder and the way she looks and, agree to, do certain gestures or lift a heavy box on camera for them, I just want to say that, anorexia kills your sex drive, so it's not like she's agreeing to it from that kind of place. And B, she is an extreme people pleaser. And also everybody else is being horrible to her. And there is one subset of people, even if their intentions are not good, are being nice to her. And so I just think we should all really think about that. And yeah. Also, I don't know, if you are mad about her being involved with fetishists, don't blame her. Blame the people that are fetishizing her. I feel like that is common sense. Like, if you think it's unethical, then you're essentially victim blaming if you blame it on her. And it is unethical. They get mad at her whenever people point out their weight and she says, I'm sorry you feel that way. They get mad at her as if she owes them her recovery, as if her not recovering is a personal attack on them. And that is just so toxic. That is so toxic. There is no comment you can make to Eugenia online that is going to make her want to recover. That's just not how it works. And if you think that that is how it works, you're wrong. And I guess that's the end of that point. I forgot to mention that also some people online like to go and try and research and dig as much information up about her family and her parents and her brother as they can to, figure out why she's like this, or to, put the blame on someone. And I'm just trying to figure out in what world that is an acceptable thing to do. Imagine if you started uploading silly content on YouTube and suddenly there is hundreds of people trying to figure out who your family is, or they have figured out who your family is, and they're looking at their legal history and they're digging up pictures of them, family members that also said specifically that they don't want to be on camera, they don't want to be known about, autistic family members. What the fuck are you doing? I get curiosity. Like, you can be curious about things. Maybe you've done some research, okay? But by God, don't put that shit on the fucking internet for other people to see. It's nobody's fucking business, okay? If you're going to indulge in a guilty sin of researching someone's shit, keep it to your fucking self, okay? Goddamn. Let's just gather as much information on her brother as possible who isn't a part of this. Like, why are we bringing, what is happening? So people do blame a lot on her mom because, I mean, and her mom has like is on her YouTube channel actively and has consented to being looked at, and she's said certain things on camera, and she has said things that would indicate that her relationship with Eugenia Cooney's eating disorder is very unhealthy as well. And I can't tell if she's just doing it for the camera or if she genuinely doesn't see a problem. But I think that both of them are very sick people. I think someone on live stream said something like, I don't know, they just said, what do you think about your daughter's weight or something like that? And she and Eugenia were in the room, and her mom was like, well, you know, I know Eugenia's always liked to be a skinny mini or something like that. And like, to me, it's clear there's something messed up going on. But I think that like, I really think we should keep the speculation on that to kind of a minimum. And also, I wouldn't go accusing Eugenia Cooney's mom of like some people are like do think that she is like causing it, like it's like a Munchausen by proxy situation. I don't think so, and I think that's a little bit inappropriate to speculate about. But I think I just think they're both just sick people. They're just sick, okay, both of them. And I don't know in what way her mom is sick, and it's none of my fucking business. Now, I kind of understand to a certain extent why people are upset. And I'm not understanding in the sense that I agree. I'm understanding in the sense that I can tell that it is frustrating and it is annoying, even. It is annoying to watch sometimes somebody be so in denial. But it's frustrating. And especially for some people, I think it's that it makes them sad. It makes them sad, and they can't understand it, and they're coping with the fact that someone is dying right before their eyes. And then also, I think a lot of it is cringe. I do think a lot of it is cringe. I think people are cringing at her. And I think as a society, we would be a lot better off if we learned how to cringe at people less and actually or just erase that word from our vocabulary, because it's kind of an unnecessary emotion. And it kind of is possible. Like, I do not cringe very often anymore. I used to cringe a lot. I do not cringe very often anymore. I just sort of realized that, like, people are just people. I really do love Eugenia in a way. I've watched her for years, and I feel like I understand her as much as I can as somebody like random on the internet that doesn't really tell you that much about their personal internal world. And I am really sad. I'm really sad about how this is going. I am very sad, especially because I thought she was going to recover for a while. Like, I genuinely believed that and maybe she was going to. Because earlier this year or last year or something, she got banned on TikTok. So she made this live and she was crying and she was like, I know I have a problem. She couldn't bring herself to say what it was, but she was like, I know I have a problem and I know everyone has their things and I know. And then she like was crying about it, and she made a few videos where she tried food briefly, and I don't know if that was her just trying to get her TikTok back. I think it is now, but I would like to think that originally maybe she was flirting with the idea of maybe trying to get a little bit better. And now that I kind of realize that that's not what's happening anymore, I'm very sad because she is 30. And if you know about the way the body works, the 27 Club is the 27 Club for a reason. It's because your body starts falling apart whenever you get to your late 20s, early 30s. And this woman has been very emaciated for over a decade. So I think it will kill me for a little bit. And I really don't mean to be drab. I'm not saying this will happen. But if it does go the way and she does pass away, it will kill me for a little bit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I really do care for her. And she does not deserve this. She doesn't deserve this. She does not deserve what people are doing to her. Not at all. She was and is just a girl that was doing what she felt like she had to do to survive. She's not doing this because it's fun. She feels like she has to do this. I don't want to be crass, but it is kind of amazing that she's still here. And she has maintained shockingly low numbers for over a decade, and she's 30. Her body is fighting it out so well to survive through her actions. And she doesn't even know how loyal her body is to her. It makes me want to cry. It's just so fucking tragic. And I can't help but feel like this will be another Amy Winehouse situation in a few years where people only care once you're dead. They treat you like shit for your addiction whenever you're alive, and they will mock you and zoom in on your lowest moments and bully you and harass you, and then you die. And then suddenly, you're an angel who just had a hard life, and none of it was your fault. It was the fault of your partner, or your mom, or your dad, or all the fame, and it's just so fucked up. It is so fucked up. When are we going to stop bullying mentally ill women?